Wow, look at how straight that board is, even after 2 years of being drug around on the ground. Anyway, this part of the chicken tractor, it works very well. It's held up great. It's got a 2x8, I believe it was, or 2x10, 2x8 I'm pretty sure, on the bottom that I cut on a bevel so I could skid it around. And I've never had any real problems with the chicken run portion of this thing. This is called a lattice truss. The benefits of a lattice truss as opposed to other types of trusses is that they don't particularly care where the force is being applied to them. They just do their job and stay straight and stiff. And that's why I used a lattice truss as opposed to a truss that's designed specifically for the weight being applied to one specific location. Like in your house, you normally always have the weight coming down all across your roof and possibly down in the center. And your support is generally out at the edges. And when you're dragging something across the ground, you can't count on that being so. That's why I've got a lattice truss. Now, this thing, what I did is 4 feet high, and I took that 4 feet and multiplied it by 1.4, then measured from here all the way down to the bottom end, or the same corner on the 2x4, and that gave me the length I needed in order to come up with a 45-degree angle board for my truss system. I didn't have a perfect working surface to work on, so I just used a square and forced the truss to be straight as I built it on its edge there. And after 2-3 years here, if we look down into the board here, it's actually still straight. And this has worked quite well. When I first built this thing, this side of the truss, or this truss on this side, was about 12 inches off the ground on this end because it just stuck out into space there under its own stiffness and lightweight nature. Although it settled down once I put the end together here. To keep the chicken run nice and square, you need 3 perpendicular planes. Anytime you want a box-shaped structure to remain square, you need 3 perpendicular planes. This side over here is one plane. As far as the structure is concerned, it is a plane. The end over here is a second plane, and then the top, which is also a lattice truss design, is the third plane, and they are all perpendicular to each other, resulting in a box that is very, very stable in shape. These boards, I put a screw in here and a screw in like this. You actually see it poking out here, and did the same on the other end, and they've held up just great. We don't actually use nails anymore in this place, because they just come right out and they're not as secure, and when you do want them out, they usually end up destroying the board, so we just don't use them anymore. To keep your predators out, I want hog wire. To me, hog wire is 4 by 4 inches, and this is what they gave me for hog wire. Maybe I just have the wrong name for it. I guess they actually call it field fencing now. But essentially, anything with a 3 by 3, 4 by 4 hole is just fine. This is small enough to hold my adult chickens in by themselves, but I had to put the finer wire down there, the smaller wire, because my younger chickens would go right out through this stuff. Predators have never gotten in here, but we got this little spot here. We've been tossing stuff in the top, and I swear one of these days I halfway expect to find somebody's dog sitting in here looking at me, surrounded by a bunch of dead chickens, and he's looking at me wondering what the heck's wrong, because in my opinion dogs tend to be just that stupid. But hey, I'm not a dog person. The chicken run has worked so well, I believe I will cut it off from the house and put another end on there, and put some kind of shelter with a roost in here, and you know, still use it for a draggable chicken tractor in some manner. Now stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to talk about the nest boxes. Watch your speed.